Have you ever wondered why it's so difficult to turn decisions into actions and to remember what you promised yourself you would do? Have you ever wondered why you keep getting in your own way, unconsciously sabotaging or distorting your intentions and motivations? Have you ever wondered why you get stuck in addictive cycles of unwanted habits, experiences, and pains? Have you ever wondered why people, including yourself, often act so ineffectively, stupidly, and/or heartlessly? These are some of the basic questions that so many traditions and trainings seek to address. Hello, I am Stuart Heller, and I've been studying these questions for most of my life. On my science side, when I encounter a very difficult yet important issue, I was trained to analyze a situation by considering the whole universe within which this seeming problem exists. I was shown the exponential efficacy of bringing to the situation several different perspectives and disciplines. By exploring the interactions and interdependencies of this web of relationships, brand new mappings, models, and methods could be created. And this could lead to better solutions for your difficult and important issues. In 1971, I earned my master's degree in this field called operations research. Following this way of studying, I earned a doctorate in psychology, researching the arts and sciences of a wide range of traditions, variously named psychophysical, mind-body, body-mind, somatics, yoga, and embodiment. I began studying the martial arts at age 14 with a self-defense course. I applied these same cognitive skills and was awarded with 6-degree black belts in 2 different arts and an acknowledgement as a professor or 7th degree from Great Grandmaster Ming Lum. Also, under the guidance of my mentor, by drinking Chinese formulas, a very different world of embryological connections and organs became accessible. This decades-long exploration led to becoming a practitioner of classical Chinese behavioral medicine. From the beginnings of my professional practice, people brought me their difficult issues that seemed to resist all efforts to change them. The issues ran the gamut from physical to psychological to social and to spiritual. Many were entrepreneurs, managers, executives, or martial art masters. I consulted with a wide variety of companies and teams on difficult and important issues. I used my research to design courses and entire curricula for graduate school. I helped NASA systems engineers develop their human skills. A very short list of these corporations that my company consulted for includes Verizon, Apple, Mondeleev, the Produce Exchange, Canned Foods, John F. Kennedy University, Harvard Community Health Plan, Catholic Health Initiative, 5 Branches Chinese Medical School, and the Newfield Network. At this time in my life, I want to make these ideas and methods available for a wider audience. The purpose of this free lesson is to acquaint you and hopefully interest you in our completely redesigned workshops to help you become who you were born to be. And if you choose to join the adventure, you'll be ready to play and learn. Now, let's begin the adventure. First, I'd like to remind you of what you already know. That is, you can tell when the words and the nonverbal state are not in harmony and when they are in sync. And you know that when you are in sync, things tend to work better. I melt downward. I am happy. Today is the happiest day of my life. I relax upward. I am depressed. Today is the most depressing day of my life. Now watch and listen to these combinations. I melt downward. I am depressed. Today is the most depressing day of my life. I relax upward. I am happy. Today is the happiest day of my life. That you can tell the difference is why you can become who you were born to be. Before I show you our map of 12 dynamic attitudes, here is a relatively short introduction to living systems thinking. The founder of Gestalt therapy, Fritz Perls, used to say that all contact takes place at the boundary. And the boundary of a living system, like ourselves, has two layers. The outer boundary is where we meet what comes towards us from the world we share with others. The inner boundary is where we meet what rises up within us in response to all that is going on. The boundary of our lives is like a stem cell. From its simple beginnings, our complex experiences and behaviors come into being. Like the four forces of physics and the four molecules which form DNA, nature has provided us with an alphabet of simple responses. When combined, these form the patterns that support our everyday experiences and behaviors, as well as the powerful unconscious forces that impact everything, especially if we are not aware of this realm of activity. Because life is complex, the simple responses of your boundaries are mediated by your complex human nervous system. Even though we have developed the habit of dividing this naturally integrated and interconnected neural net into seemingly separate systems, at its heart, all of your neural activities affect the entire network. That is, what you do, what you believe, and what you experience are profoundly shaped by the overall health of these neural functions. At this moment of special importance is your central nervous system's capacity for verbal language. Naming is one of the most basic and powerful actions you can take. Here is a translation of this alphabet using words, colors, and simple circles to make it easier to distinguish the four primal responses. When something happens, the boundary can respond by extending, bending, expanding, or solidifying. And of course, all responses are combinations of these four primary responses. The four responses are not separate. They only make sense in relationship. By working with the 6 relationships between them, you gain access to the dynamic attitudes that support your personality, style, experience, behavior, and presence. Using these, you can enhance the qualities you already possess and like, and transform the qualities you do not like into more effective ways of being and doing. Let me show you what I mean through the simple movements of what I like to call conversational Taiji. And while you watch, permit yourself to be moved by what you see. The 12 movements and shapes are not directly the answers to your problems. They can take you to energetic psychological states wherein you can discover which words, centers, and subtle actions will be helpful in accomplishing your goals. That is, they are starting points for customizing a practice you can use to navigate toward your desired future. They can also be used for the creative exploration of your natural tendencies, learned habits, and your goals. Let's begin with the attitudes formed by the diagonal relationship between extending and bending. Moving, emphasizing extending over bending. Let your muscles change. Let your breathing change. Let your face change. Let your thoughts and feelings change. Moving, emphasizing bending over extending. Let your muscles change. Let your breathing change. Let your face change. Let your thoughts and feelings change. Which of these are familiar or unfamiliar? Which of these are difficult or easy? Which of these are supportive or sabotaging? And here are the attitudes formed by the diagonal relationship between expanding and solidifying. Moving, emphasizing expanding over solidifying. Let your muscles change. Let your breathing change. Let your face change. Let your thoughts and feelings change. Moving, emphasizing solidifying over expanding. Let your muscles change. Let your breathing change. Let your face change. Let your thoughts and feelings change. Which of these seem familiar or unfamiliar? Which of these seem easy or difficult? Which of these seem supportive or sabotaging? And here are the attitudes formed by the horizontal relationship between expanding and extending. Moving, emphasizing expanding over extending. Let your muscles change. Let your breathing change. Let your face change. Let your thoughts and feelings change. Moving, emphasizing extending over expanding. Let your muscles change. Let your breathing change. Let your face change. Let your thoughts and feelings change. Which of these seem familiar or unfamiliar? Which of these seem easy or difficult? Which of these seem supportive or sabotaging? And here are the attitudes formed by the horizontal relationship between bending and solidifying. Moving, emphasizing bending over solidifying. Let your muscles change. Let your breathing change. Let your face change. Let your thoughts and feelings change. Moving, emphasizing solidifying over bending. Let your muscles change. Let your breathing change. Let your face change. Let your thoughts and feelings change. Which of these seem familiar or unfamiliar? Which of these seem easy or difficult? Which of these seem supportive or sabotaging? And here are the attitudes formed by the vertical relationship between expanding and bending. Moving, emphasizing expanding over bending. Let your muscles change. Let your breathing change. Let your face change. Let your thoughts and feelings change. Moving, emphasizing bending over extending. Let your muscles change. Let your breathing change. Let your face change. Let your thoughts and feelings change. Which of these seem familiar or unfamiliar? Which of these seem easy or difficult? Which of these seem supportive or sabotaging? And here are the attitudes formed by the vertical relationship between extending and solidifying. Moving, emphasizing solidifying over extending. Let your muscles change. Let your breathing change. Let your face change. Let your thoughts and feelings change. Moving, emphasizing extending over solidifying. Let your muscles change. Let your breathing change. Let your face change. Let your thoughts and feelings change. Which of these seem familiar or unfamiliar? Which of these seem easy or difficult? Which of these seem supportive or sabotaging? Here are all 12 dynamic attitudes in a diagram that emphasizes their relative individuality. And what you have noticed can be used to tell interesting and valuable stories. When you sign up for a Becoming workshop, you will be asked to use drop-down menus to choose one quality, that is one word, that represents what you would like to enhance, and another word for what you would like to transform. That is, choose just 2 words out of the 48 possible goals, which are related to the 12 nonverbal attitudes. Using the group's choices, I will use the top 2 qualities to begin. Given what happens, the adventure will unfold. Okay, I've shown you an interesting set of 12 dynamic attitudes with both nonverbal and verbal attributes. So what? There are a number of excellent systems that offer postures and movements and/or keywords. The subtle and real difference of our approach lies in an uncommon understanding of habit that agrees with ancient wisdom teachings, modern science, and depth psychotherapy. Your habits seem to operate as if they were a bureaucracy of protocols and psychoenergetic states that must be maintained. even if you are the one desiring change. If you watch yourself closely, you can discover how the usual beliefs about habit encourage your bureaucracy to harden its boundaries and reject any attempts to change the way things have been. If, however, you can rethink your view of habit and re-understand it as an absolutely crucial living systems function and powerful ally, that is, appreciate it, the door in the black box of habit opens, permitting you to engage more directly with your history. Working collaboratively with your bureaucracy of habits, new and more effective solutions to difficult issues emerge naturally. When you are no longer caught up in stupid fighting with yourself, it becomes clear that you have layers of habits that you built from the moment of your birth. The earliest habits are so basic that it is no wonder you believe that they are your true self. You had to learn how to breathe, reach, grasp, crawl, walk, and talk in the midst of the stories, moods, and energies surrounding you. Upon this base, you built your childhood habits, and upon these you built your teenage habits, and upon these you built your adult habits. And each of these habits used a portion of your primal life energies to maintain themselves. Here is a rarely considered question. What happens to the energies that sustained the old habits when you build new ones? Around 1500 years ago, a Hindu saint named Patanjali drew together ancient teachings in a text named the Yoga Sutras. In the second section, he introduces a model of 5 primal psychological functions, which when handled poorly generate suffering. When handled well, you can work with, not against, the forces of karma. The Chinese sage Confucius described this as following your heart's desire without overstepping the bounds. Waking up to the immensity of life, you quickly realize that the universe cannot be contained within your personal knowing. And how you respond to not knowing generates the karmic direction of your personal life. In psychotherapy, the experience of this encounter is called existential anxiety. Some have called it the abyss. A USA military think tank called this situation VUCA. How you handle life's intense volatility, its inherent uncertainty and complexity, and the ambiguity that makes clear understanding difficult. When you find yourself encountering not knowing, do you move toward that which you like? Do you move away from what you dislike? Do you hold on to moments too long? And how do you use your human gift for identifying what is happening and who you are? These same forces are also the forces of addiction. Said more simply, what if the biggest factor that sabotages change is not personal? Wasting your energy seeking out ways to blame and find fault with yourself or others is how your bureaucracy of habits distracts you from accomplishment. Or, as the Chinese sage Mengzi said, it is natural to have the virtues. It is normal to have difficulties with them. If we take this as our anchor, then it is clear that instead of the expected and usual approach of giving you a practice that you can repeat and repeat until it becomes a new invisible habit, we will work together to draw out, strengthen, and refine what is natural for you to have. These are the basic ideas, strategies, and tools with which we shall work magic, or at the very least, show you very real possibilities for change. Each workshop session will be unique because it'll be a collaborative, creative adventure with the dance of desire and habit. My personal guarantee is that I will use all that I have learned and can intuit to assist you in cultivating the energies and attitudes necessary for you to become who you were born to be. Hopefully, this gives you a good sense of what we will be doing in a workshop. Looking forward to adventuring with you.